Hi guys, I'm Celia,
I'm Pedro.
And I'm Kylie.
and we're going to be talking to you today about climate change.
Okay, so what is America's impact on climate change? Human-made greenhouse gases are one of the most significant contributors to climate change. The United States net emissions declined 12% between 2005 and 2017 due to many different market and policy-related factors. Despite this, overall greenhouse gas emissions internationally increased by 7% between 1990 and 2014. One large portion of greenhouse gases is carbon dioxide, or CO2. In excess, CO2 can be extremely harmful to the planet. Okay, according to the World Resources Institute, the US produced 27% of all CO2 emissions in the world between 1850 and 2011. The US has by far the largest percentage of CO2 emissions per capita, with the closest individual country being China, who emits less than half the amount of CO2 per capita in metric tons.
So, climate change in the US. The world's average temperature has increased by 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit starting around the pre-industrial era in the 1880s. In the US and around the world, this has caused rising sea levels and coastal flooding as the Arctic ice melts and the volume of the ocean expands in warmer temperatures. A warmer climate also accounts for an increase in the severity and number of tropical storms, including hurricanes, and an increase in land precipitation in the Northeast and in the Midwest. In more dry parts of the country, global warming has brought many more droughts, heat waves, and forest fires, such as the ones we have seen devastate California in recent years. Forest fires are especially dangerous in places with droughts, as dry plants quickly fuel the spread of the fire. Trump's response. President Trump has failed to take into account the severity of the climate crisis. His administration has undertaken 74 actions to weaken environmental protection, including pulling out of the Paris Climate Treaty, which was put together by the UN. He replaced Obama's Clean Power Plan with his plan that will only lead to 1% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, as well as rolling back bans on oil and gas exploration and the use of fossil fuels.
Fortunately, our states have taken steps to combat the changing climate. Some states, such as Florida, have taken adaptive measures like revising water and wastewater infrastructure and predicting sea level rise to enact shoreline management and strategies for flood prevention. States have also been prudent efforts into converting to renewable energy sources. 30 states, Washington, D.C., and 3 territories have renewable portfolio standards requiring them to achieve a certain percentage of renewable energy, although some of these standards are less ambitious than others. Meanwhile, 7 states and a territory have set voluntary renewable energy goals, which are enforced less strictly. States have also been most effective in promoting clean energy and attributing approximately half of the growth of US renewable energy generation since the start of the century. Although the map shows little collaboration from Republican states and the executive branch has expanded oil and gas ventures, Congress has found bipartisanship on the issue of climate change. In June of 2019, Republican Representative Francis Rooney introduced the Stemming Warming and Augmenting Pay Act and the Raise Wages Cut Carbon Act of 2019, which, with the help of Democrat Dan Lipinski. Both of these acts included a carbon tax and a distribution of money to help low-income families obtain clean energy. Republicans even support initiatives like the Green New Deal. A survey by Yale University shows that 11% of conservative Republicans strongly support the Green New Deal, and another 46% somewhat support it. The same survey says that 40% of registered voters strongly support the deal, and another 41% somewhat support it. The Green New Deal was introduced by Ocasio-Cortez and Ed Markey to set ambitious cuts to the greenhouse gas emissions in electricity, transportation, and agriculture sectors, and to create more jobs in the economy.
The climate clock put up in New York City last week shows the deadline starting at 7 years and 103 days for which the world can reduce greenhouse gas emissions so that we are 2/3 likely to stay below a 1.5 Celsius temperature increase since the start of pre-industrial times. This is one of the art installations put into place to fight against climate change and raise awareness of potential permanent damage we are doing to our planet. And these are our sources.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.